Hello, my name is Dave Channon.
Very
and
nice.
You're seeing my Scraptures at the Woodstock Art Exchange, and it's on Route 28, right near the turnoff to Woodstock. You can't miss it. And this is the first of the guided tour. This is Detroitus, and the reason why we call him Detroitus is because he's made from detritus from Detroit. Detritus from Detroit. The hubcap, the Cadillac hubcap, is a discus. And when I saw that, I said, I'm trying to think of a sculpture. What should I do? A discus hurler. That's what it is. It's the discus hurler. So immediately I look up the Greek sculpture, this wonderful Greek sculpture, and I made a very faithful translation of it. So you notice the position of the fingers is very gestural, just like the sculpture, and even a real arcana. The toe, the big toe, he's in such an extreme position of extreme muscular, just about to fling with all his might. He's not even thinking. He's trapped his big toe like backwards underneath the foot in extremis. That was in the sculpture, the original sculpture. You can look for it. But it's got everything. I always want people to remember the buttocks are an extremely important part of my sculptures. I always make a point of expressing the buttocks in a very, meaningful way. But Detritus he's a kind of a heavy-duty guy. He's very heavy. A lot of very, very risky engineering involved here. So, for example, the entire upper structure, from the hips up to the tip of his pinky, is all attached by this one bolt. One bolt right over here is holding the whole thing up. Can you believe that? This one bolt. So that's what I like to do. I like to get away with murder with my sculptures. I make them impossible. Like, how could it be? How can it be? So here we go. Hey, come on, I'll give you the guided tour. You've seen some of these before, right? I don't remember this. You don't remember it, huh? You don't have to be that fastidious. Just come on over.
Okay.
Anyway, Larry, what is an ostrich?
Where is its head? Oh, yeah?
Do the honors. Put its head in the sun.
I'm not touching it.
You're not going to touch it? Oh, you don't want to break it?
No,
Okay.
it's not here.
The ostrich is known for burying its head in the sand. This ostrich is carefully designed with counterbalancing garage door springs to pop it back up into the upper position. And the original inspiration for the ostrich was this clamp. The clamp, which to me resembled an ostrich's head, and that's how it all came about. So the ostrich is what it is. It's what it is. You're already moving along. Now, you're not interested in this question. Let's look at Napoleon. You're being very helpful by doing this for me. It's helping me tremendously. This is Napoleon. And the original inspiration for Napoleon was this melted, bent, broken fireplace grill. I looked at it and I said, it looks like Napoleon's vest. It really does. So that's where it started. And then I scrummaged around to try to find more pieces of things that would work for epaulets. Gotta have some epaulets. And since Napoleon's a ruler, I used a ruler to actually attach to his scepter. This is what enables him to stand, because he's a ruler. The ruler is for the ruler. And in back, if you come around, you can see, of course, the very, very French derriere French, and part of his, like, the cape from his tunic or whatever, military-looking thing with, the braids, standing on the world, top of the world mall, right? And he's got a haircut. He's got a very interesting haircut. It's a COVID hairstyle. So you got the ostrich. Let's go with this guy. Not much to say about him. He's got, this is the yard guardian, and it would guard your yard if you have a yard, if maybe like a scarecrow or something. And he talks, hey, baby, what's nice girl like you doing in a place like this? And he's got an enlarged prostate over here, so he'll be all right. Wait, let me see. Oh, I forgot. His prostate is enlarged. Let me measure it. Let's see. Okay. It's a big prostate. Put it back in there. Put it back in there. See what fun you can have with these sculptures, and keep in mind, included in the purchase price is delivery and installation within a 100-mile radius. Going back this way. Now we're going to the area that Pablo wants everyone to know about. Pablo Weinschenk, the glass-blowing artist who is the manager and owner of the studio here, has a beautiful garden back here nobody knows. That's why he let me put my sculptures here, so people will go back there. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull it. I'm so grateful to you for doing this. It's very wonderful.
Easy peasy.
I hope you can still enjoy it. I'm disappointed.
Oh, I am,
Larry
no.
doesn't get to hear all my jokes, but
No, this is fun.
here we are. Chimpanzini the Great. He's like a Cirque du Soleil chimp kind of guy, riding the tightrope. Pretty fantastic, right? That he can balance like that.
Amazing.
This is like. It's a remarkable. This is part of the non-Euclidian aspect of my sculptures, where it's clearly impossible. It couldn't be holding it up because look. There's no tension on it. How could he must be weightless. No, he weighs a lot, and the very thick, very eroded part of the arm, this beam here, and it goes up the other side, is from the dam that was at the top of Catskill Falls about 200 years ago. The guy that owned the property would use, this was part of the crank, he'd close it off and the water would stop flowing over the falls, and then people would come up, they'd pay him 25 cents, he'd crank it and he'd let the water run again. It's like looking at the Mona Lisa in Italy or something. You got to put a dime, you got to put a lira in the machine to make the light come on, otherwise you can't see it. Don't fall down on the steps. Let me show you. This is my friend Popeye. Nah, I'm mortalized him. Let me at him. Let me at him. I'll give him to him. Give it to him that thing in a schnozola. He's got his. Come close. You come around the front. Come around the front. You got to see, because he's got a few features, Popeye-esque features. He's got his spinach can.
Spinach, that's what I saw.
This fucking thing was full of wasps. Yesterday I said, hey, look at the spinach can, and like 20 wasps came out. But he's got many interesting features. He's got a real, oh, there goes a wasp. Did you see it?
We got those too.
Mermaid tattoo. And his heart is on the left. Is it? Heart is on the left.
Yeah,
right?
more or less in the middle left.
It's the middle.
Just
It's more like in the middle.
Yeah,
Heart
there
goes-
you go. That's
He's,
right.
It's not.
And I saw the
He's not
anchor.
pissing into his can of spinach.
There you go.
And he's got a. Here, let's get this set up. It's Popeye. But this was the original inspiration. It's a copper tea kettle. I said, that looks like a sailor hat. And who is the sailor? What's the first, most important sailor in the world?
A Nimitz.
So, that's Popeye. He's got his thing. The red paint came off, but I should put a little solar-powered light in there so it looks like it's glowing with toot toot. And he's got a rotating glands.
Okay.
See? Like that. It's detachable. You'd be people out there are embarrassed about certain aspects of human anatomy. Most of them are detachable on the sculptures. And I don't know what else to make of it. I mean, this is the thing that it comes from
Nautical.
the boat.
Yeah.
That's to tell you how far off kilter you're getting. So it's really off kilter. So that's that. And Popeye's cruise. It's sort of like his nose, like it's been broken a few times. You know?
I like the.
Yeah, he's cool. Popeye's good.
1 second.
What?
Stop it.
No, don't know. Let her.
I had a comment.
What's that?
What I'd love to see.
What's that?
He's got these arms
Yeah.
and the muscles you have like one where you should see the bulging muscle. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I hear you. I hear
That's
you.
all.
Popeye is very strong, but he's very bandy. He's not like Bluto.
Take a look at
He's
the
very
cartoons.
bandy. If you take a look at the original Popeye, you'll notice that he's got very skinny upper arm and
then-
very fat forearm,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
fat
yeah.
muscle
Bulgy.
forearms. So that's what I was going for here.
Okay.
I put these in to make it look like his forearms were more fat. But you're right. I mean,
I got you.
he's strong.
Well, I know about the forearms, but most people think of muscular.
Well, he's
I mean,
got a little bit of a muscle here.
Yeah,
It's just-
I know.
It's a little, like, look.
That's where you
You go like that, right?
Yeah, that's
His muscle is
flab.
Olive oil has
Flab,
more muscles.
olivey,
When
yeah.
he eats the spinach, like boom, it's like battleships coming out and shooting off guns. It's great. But yeah, so Popeye is cool.
Cool.
He's,
It's very cool.
yeah, he's got a lot of attitude, you know. I'm idolizing.
The Minky is wonderful also.
The Minky? What's Minky?
Monkey.
Minky.
Oh, the monkeys.
Minky.
Minky,
The
Minky.
This is the bird of education, and sometimes the titles, sometimes I give in the title, I give a clue to the original inspiration of the thing, but in this case, the wings were made out of a school desk, like an ancient little, like kindergarten school desk.
Wow.
So that's why I call it bird of education. Now you watch me while I fall down.
Captured for
I just want you to see.
posterity.
She's about to lay an egg. Always notice if you see a golf ball in one of my sculptures, it's there because I have like a running joke about golf. It's like goes through the, you'll see it in some places. But yeah, it's got, you know, maybe it's better like that. You can see the eyes. Look me in the eye! Look me in the eye!
Something just fell off him.
Rock.
Okay,
A counterweight.
all right.
You need a book of knowledge in there
I
to
need to
hold
put
it
I
down.
need to put a little piece of metal in there.
Yeah, book of knowledge.
Book it
He's
out.
good.
That's what I'll put the Jehovah Witness in there.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So now we're up to. I like people to sometimes actually just say what they think. I mean, would you look at this? What title would you just give it? Forget what I wrote. I mean, what would you Joan of Arc?
Tits, you know.
Tits.
I'm waiting for them to light up.
They do light up, but you have to sneak in here at night.
Okay.
Pablo and Georgiana live in that house, and
Okay.
they'll see you back here. So, anyway, this is. I decided ultimately to say Wonder Woman because it's part of my campaign to make my sculptures more accessible.
Okay.
So if I was to say Joan of Arc, half the people wouldn't even know what I was talking
Yeah.
about, and if they did know, it would give them a negative impression. They wouldn't
Yeah, I
like it.
needed a fire
Move
also.
over. I
She
need to
does
move.
look like
Sorry.
she's burning
Well,
up.
I don't
She
know.
does.
She
looks like
seems hot.
She looks like she's
She's very
like,
She is hot.
I'm burning.
Hot.
She's
Definitely hot.
hot, and she's got a peristaltic intestinal area that contains peristalsis to generate the nutritional thing that helps the heart beat. You see, it's connected by the small intestine, and this is the large intestine. And this part here is actually from a dairy farm. It was the yolk that the cow would put her head through when she was being milked. And these are from a gymnasium, I'm sure. It's got solar lights inside. They blink and go through a whole series of different connections. And this I made out of some
Oh, you made it.
perforated
Okay,
sheet
cool.
metal.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful.
It's one of these things.
Yeah.
This won't be here that long. I should paint it, otherwise it'll rust away quickly. You got to. I mentioned the thing about the buttocks earlier. Did I mention the
You
buttocks?
did mention
Take a look
buttocks.
at these
Let's
one
look at these
sculptures. I think
buttocks.
It's very, very important to see. Sculpture, in my opinion, should be three-dimensional. It shouldn't be. You just look at it from one side and it's great, and the other side is boring as anything, right? So this is it's very interesting back here. It's not what you'd expect, but there's a good muscular twang.
We were just talking about butts.
Butts, right.
Yeah.
Like that. Hey, come on back. Come on back. All right, you don't have to wait for the next tour. Okay, see you in a
There
bit.
were tours. Oh.
Anyway, yeah, we'll call it a tour. It's like a revolving tour, but you could get on at any point and get off at any point. It's like Disney World. You know, you get on the bus, you get off. I was going to call it, Larry, I was going to call it Rosebud.
Oh,
I was going to call it, I could still call it rosebud.
you
But
could.
It's rosebud.
Again.
Because of the kiddie sled. The made
Oh.
This is a sled, flexible flyer
Oh,
sled.
sleds for the
Rosebud,
arms.
Citizen Kane,
That
Jesse
is
Wells.
extremely cool.
And we're starting to get into the what I call the mobius origami technique that most people don't know about because I just made it up. And, made it up a half an hour ago. But a lot of these things are barrel hoops, and I like to use one continuous expressive line with some gestural, changes of direction, changes of radius, So all of these have an interesting curvature here, just like this one has an interesting S-curve. This is sort of a drawing, like the energy of a drawn line, except it's using metal. Now, once I realized that I could do mobius origami, then I took it to the next level in the gladiator over here. And in this one, the piece starts here, and it comes out the outer thigh muscle. Then it bends. Then it bends down, and it goes down to there, and then it curls around, and it keeps coming back up, and then it bends around, and it comes around there, and it's all one piece that's been bent into a Mobius strip by the technique of metal origami. Non-Euclidian Mobius origami.
Pretty amazing.
This is a good thing. You could do this too. Larry, would you like to do it? It's a sound aura healing thing. I'll demonstrate, but you only can do it if your head is in there, but I'll demonstrate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But you get the sound aura. Now you know about engineering, right?
Oh,
Nuts
sure.
and bolts.
Toot.
Look at this bolt here. Just take a look at that. This is a thick piece of metal. This thing is not your average garbage can.
Mhm.
It's a very thick piece of metal. But if you stick your head in there, I can
And a baking pan.
yes,
Okay.
that's the 6-pack.
Yeah. Okay.
The 6-pack.
Oh, perfect.
Just like look at my
Just
6-pack.
like mine.
Show 'em, line it up. Line
Yeah.
up the 6-pack.
Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom.
Line up the whoa. Fruit of the Loom. Line up the 6-pack. These are the teddy bear 6-packs. It's a special teddy bear 6-pack.
Uh-huh.
Right? Which is because he's a teddy bear. But if you put your head in there, you want to get the tone, you can do it. But the main thing that I really want Paulette, or I really want you to do, is I want you to assume the position. Assume the position of the one that he's about to slay. And you get like about here, and you look him in the eye, and then you glance up and you see the sword above. So if you, I'll step back so you could try it.
Okay.
Try to get all those big electric. Crouch down, and try to get like he's gazing. Yeah, there you go. And you see all the electrodes in the background.
Whoa.
His sword is going to chop into the electrodes. It's going to send like a lightning bolt straight through, and
Like the Marbell.
yeah, it's like you look like a chicken wing by the time you're done.
Make a wish.
Burnt up. So so the gladiator, he's cool. It's an ice saw for cutting up old frozen ponds.
When you need a martini chilled.
Yeah,
stirred.
big cubes are
Yeah.
popular because they don't dilute the drink as
Well,
much.
you shouldn't shake.
Don't
You should
shake.
always stir.
Stir,
Shaking
not shake.
chips them.
Now, what did James Bond say? Didn't he say shaken, not stirred? Or
Well,
did he
he's
say
wrong.
Stirred, not shaken.
He said shaken, not stirred.
He said
It
shaken,
should
but it should be stirred.
Stirred, not
It,
shaken.
it depends on how you want your... okay, gin is stirred, not shaken, but vodka can be shaken and not stirred.
Vodka doesn't have
Gin,
as much
right,
flavor.
gin can get bruised.
It's
Vodka can't.
Yeah,
I
but
just
it's
learned
also-
this.
No.
chips. Dilute it. It's a quarter if you want to stay drunk longer. You don't.
I finally quit drinking, and then now I learned the really good stuff that I never had.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can always come back.
But always look at
Come
these
back
things.
to the
There's many- I
dark
can always
side.
come back. There's many of the sculptures have this same nose. I happen to think it's a beautiful nose. It's kind of it's like a bit like a boxer's nose, but it's got nostrils. It's got everything. And this is the nose in its natural habitat. There's a part of a lawn chair over here.
Yeah.
And you see that's the nose, and it goes here, And so this is what you call the deconstructed lawn chair principle. So you cut part of the lawn chair off and you screw them back to back, and you get a facsimile of trapezius.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I
Fantastic.
hate to tell you, but if you turn it the other way, you also could get an excellent male organ out of it.
We will get to that. We'll get to that before it's over. But it
That's
also
when you
has
stick your
this guy
hand
has
in there.
this guy has a very, very well developed
Gluteus maximus.
Gluteus maximus, and this came in the same batch of scrap metal. Did I mention that these are Scraptures, which is a sculpture made of scrap metal that causes rapture?
Not craptures.
Not
Scraptures.
Scraptures.
Not scripture,
No, it's not.
not the rapture. They're Scraptures. Okay.
Okay,
Get it?
Scraptures.
Scrapture. This was an ice tongue that after you sawed the ice off with that ice saw from the lake, you tong it up.
When you brought it up to the
They had a
third
whole
floor.
society of tong people that would tong up the.
Especially the Asians, they could really tongue
they
it up.
called them to tong. They called them the Tong Society.
Yeah.
But
They're in
yeah,
Chinatown now.
but I'm very proud of the lines. You know, this
Yes.
this scythe here
Scythe.
has a not strictly anatomically correct because the spine is really an S curve, but it has the bulk of the thrust, the thrusting of the upper
Watch that.
torso. Like
Watch
he's
that
gonna
kind of talk.
and you're gonna have like a thing, like a straight line, straight down through your nose, just like in the Jinx the Cat cartoons.
Yeah, split in half.
Straight down in half, and then back
False.
together. Back together. So we're gonna move along. We're moving along. There's
Moving
more
on.
things I could say,
We're
but the
talking
main
about-
thing is you got to stare him in the eye. If you come here to the Woodstock Art Exchange, stare him in the eye. Just so you'll know what I mean.
You were talking Fritz the cat the other day.
Fritz the cat. Yeah. Actually, I was thinking of a different cat. The Fritz popped into my mind, but I was
Well,
thinking
maybe.
You probably sent me
friend
the
of
Fritz.
ours with the voice.
This is what you've seen before. You must know him.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I don't remember.
He's been
who.
at the Arts Upstairs.
Yeah, but why? I don't know the name. I don't know.
Flaneur is the person in Paris who hangs out in the cafe all day long like this.
Okay, a key
He's a
is.
flaneur. He's popping his coin,
All right.
his 5 franc piece or whatever.
Okay.
And he's
Love
got-
the way he
and
moves.
he's winking because this Paris, these girls in Paris. So when this was at the Arts Upstairs, they had a band playing and everybody was dancing, and you know the floor there goes up and down. So he was really the guy
cool.
was rocking, man. Everybody was cracking up. He said, look at that old man over there. He's really rocking. So yeah, Flaneur is
Okay.
he's like a boulevardier.
Coast to Paris.
But, yeah, so a lot of the sculptures have kinetic properties, some of them more than others. Popeye's very kinetic. This one basically doesn't do that much, but another thing is if you really like spiders, I don't know you'll be able to see it in the video, but this is a spider web here, unless it flew away overnight.
Yeah, there's no spider web there.
There's the remnant,
Yeah,
trace
there's
remnants.
one line.
There's a little bit left, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's one that's still intact. The
Okay.
spider's-
Oh yeah.
It's like the sculptures, people.
You close your eyes, you're in Paris.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's not that easy unless the sun's shining on it.
Yeah.
But maybe you could see it.
Not
Yeah,
really.
It's okay.
You can see what's caught in it, but you can't really
So
see
for
it.
all the, let's say, sometimes I'm better off not saying things, but this was actually like a leg trap that you probably used to catch like, a fox or something.
Red
Eyeball.
fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a segregationist
But what
thing.
we're doing now is
So-
we're repurposing. We're taking something from an original purpose and giving it a new purpose that's less violent, less deadly,
And less racist.
less bad for foxes, less bad for, well, I hate to say it, but if a rat was to go in it, it's a toss-up. If the rat wasn't bothering
George
me,
Siegel.
if it, there's people I could think would be good if they got their toe in there.
More than their toe.
Everything, except whatever, every part, the whole thing, the whole what did they call it, the whole 9 yards,
That they do.
the whole ball of wax. Probably a whole ball of
Sometimes
wax.
it's the ball of wax.
Oh, sometimes it's. a
Sometimes
ball
they
of wax.
call it a penis.
Don't talk dirty on this. It's for television.
I knew some guys who had balls of wax.
Balls of wax, right. And so we're just gonna. We'll
Yeah, it's easier to get out this way and safer. The monkey was wonderful. I mean, lots of.
Monkey's cool, right?
Oh,
you
like the
added
bird,
color,
too.
which I find exciting.
What's that? The little touches
Color,
of color.
touches the color, brings them alive into a whole different.
You know,
feel.
you're very correct, and you know my friend Ron English, the artist, or heard of him.
I know the name.
For 10 years he's been saying, Dave, paint your sculptures, paint them. And I said, I don't want to paint them because then people come back every year. They'll say, oh, the paint is flaking. What do I do? So I figured I'll just let it be rust. But you know what? You can't see the rust. Rust doesn't sleep and it also doesn't show up. Against the bushes, the sculptures become virtually invisible.
Yeah.
It's almost a hazard. It's
And
almost
you
you
have to
bang
be
into
careful.
them. You don't even know they're there.
You have to be careful of the colors also. The white pops overtakes that pop light.
Yeah, exactly.
While
Exactly.
the one outside is magnificent with the
Oh,
color.
the white guy.
The white guy.
Well, he was white because the sculpture is made of marble,
woohoo.
and that's marble. That's why I was thinking white. But it also makes you can see it, and it looks cooler. It looks cooler.
Yes.
So I'm actually painting them now, and I'm painting the sculptures. And if you like this woman came in yesterday and said, "How could you charge so much money? It's all rusted. It's all rust. How could you charge money like that?" Hey, are you here for the sculptures or for the glass?
They're here. They're just.
Okay, well, today is the guided tour of the sculpture park. There's 17 sculptures. It takes about 10 minutes. Okay.
I mean,
Anyway,
good.
Pinky the Porcupine was originally a caviar serving thing. Then the top would like to go up and would become a
to do
caviar.
appetizers.
But anyway, so I'm going around and talking about that. We're going to head over here to see this one next. Right here. So, you remember the bird of education?
I do.
Right? Okay.
Love that
so this
bird.
one has the other half of the school desk from the wings that made the bird of education. So. Look, with one pinky. You see how easy it is? With one pinky, we could do this. This thing weighs about 200 pounds, and it's floating in midair. It's not right. It's like an iron butterfly. These are cast iron wings. The only thing that's holding this up is traffic noise. Power of traffic noise propping it up. So this is cool. Here, look again. I don't waste a minute. It's the same nose, and the same eyes from that same lawn chair. I got like 6 sculptures out of one lawn chair. It's great. Yeah. Anyway, and over here, what I said about the buttocks, deconstructed wheelbarrow, and it's very convincing, I think, to a horse's flanks.
Absolutely.
It has some of that feeling. Again, with the kinetic thing, hits just keep on coming. This one was at the gallery, and one of the visitors jumped up on it. She jumped up on the back and climbed up here and started going, yee-hee, yippee! And it didn't fall down. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm seeing more and more Teslas everywhere. So again, you notice the golf balls, right? See? Yeah, right. So what did we learn today? Look for the golf balls. It's probably got some part that wiggles in a weird way. Check out the gluteus maximus and the mobius origami and the non-Euclidian deconstruction of the wheelbarrow. I bet I should say something. I'm going to say one more final word. That again, I'm Dave Channon. I created these sculptures. They're Scraptures made of scrap metal, and you can see me, visit me online at esopuscreek.com, ESOPUS creek.com, and you can see many other examples of the things that I do. But we could be in touch. You call me up and you come and visit me in the beautiful Phoenicia area of the Catskills. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.